past rainfall season, we've only received about 70% of the long-term average, so 30% less rain than normal. So we are experiencing a drought. You can see it when you drive around. You can see behind us here the levels of the river is dropping. The dams are drying up and so forth. But they're also predicting, the seasonal long-term prediction is that we are actually heading for a very dry and hot summer. As you've just mentioned, it's quite hot out here. So we're expecting that the drought will continue and that it will become more extreme actually in the next couple of months.
One person would ask himself or herself that how is this drought exactly affecting the Kruger National Park?
Yes, I think we need to firstly mention that Kruger National Park is not an island. Kruger National Park falls within the bigger bioregion of the area. So it's not just about Kruger National Park, it's also about our neighbouring communities where a lot of our staff come from, the commercial and the subsistence farming outside of the park. So we've got a lot of empathy also for our neighbouring communities within which Kruger is embedded. But within Kruger, within a natural system like Kruger, droughts are a natural phenomena. It's something that we experience from time to time. If you look at the long-term history of rainfall in the park, it's something that comes and it's something that goes. So and not all of the effects of droughts are bad. I think that's surprising for people, but it's actually got a very important natural regulating effect in these large open systems. One of the big concerns for us, I would say, is our river systems. All our river systems, all our perennial river systems originate outside of the park. So we get less water and the quality of the water deteriorates quite a lot during droughts. But we do have people that are actively involved with the catchment management agencies and with the water user associations, where we actually are in constant contact with people outside of the park for dam releases and restrictions on irrigation and so forth, to make sure that everyone along the river actually get their share of the water.
The biggest concern also will be on the side of the wildlife. Which animals may be affected the most in this kind of condition?
Yes, I think that's always a big concern for tourists. It's never nice to see animals suffering and dying. But to maybe just put it into context, I think some of the viewers might actually be surprised to know that certain species do better under dry conditions. Your predators, for example, there's lots of food and it's easier to catch the food. Your vultures, etc. do better, even some of your short grass grazers like blue wildebeest and zebra. But then, of course, there's a lot of species that their numbers would actually decline and there would be mortalities. Buffalo is a good example of one of the species that are particularly prone to dry periods and where you get quite a lot of mortalities. But again, if you look at the long-term data sets for Kruger, for the buffalo, for example, during the 91-92 drought, which was our previous very extreme drought, where we only had 44% of our long-term rainfall, the buffalo number dropped from 30,000 to 14,000 just within 2 years, which is an extreme event, and people were quite concerned. But a little bit more than a decade later, we're close to 40,000 buffalo. So like we've got these natural patterns of rain going up and down, animal numbers fluctuate to go up and down as well. And we shouldn't just see the immediate conditions, we should see it in a longer term perspective as well. So the animals respond differently to a drought.
Well, looking at the Western Cape now, family and friends